Attention, please. It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
God bless them. God bless all of them. America, the United Kingdom. God bless all of us in this crazy, crazy fucking world that we live in.
Crazy fucked up world.
Jesus Christ. Now, before we jump into it, anybody who can hear the sound of our beautiful voices,
Beautiful.
go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give them permission. That has been the reason, Butcher, why these comments from other sections haven't been coming through to us. So come on, get in here, interact with us. You got some shit to talk. We want to hear it.
We certainly do.
We certainly do.
Certainly
How you
do.
doing today, Sunshine?
Hey.
Hanging in? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Who doesn't love that face? Look at that face.
So, yeah, it's an interesting topic today.
It is
First of its kind.
Hang on a second. We might be having an issue here. Okay, I think we're online. I thought we got booted off here.
Well, relating to the topic, it wouldn't fucking surprise me.
Right. So today,
there's already a sniper with you in sights.
But I got Old Glory behind me. How do they want to shoot me for representing America?
Exactly.
America.
Fuck
So
yeah.
Today's the day, brother. Today's the day. It hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen until 2:15, apparently, Eastern time. Yeah, when Trump is surrendered for his booking and arraignment process on the campaign finance violation charges. Now, I'm not here today to enter any kind of commentary about what my feelings about Trump are. We're talking about a situation that has been brewing since, 1980? You know, people have been trying to figure out how to get their hands on this guy. You know, there's a reason that I believe he likes to be called the Don, because he believes he's a crime boss. And then he got the presidency and kind of figured he could do whatever he wanted to, which, I mean, let's be honest, all United States presidents figure they can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yes, remember when you're fucking head of the most powerful country in the world, you like to play God. You know, there's a reason. Like I say, fucking mafia bosses are mafia bosses. That is exactly what a president is. He's a mafia boss.
Hey, if anybody can hear me, could you just put it up in the Slack channel that we're actually playing? Because looked at it on my phone, it keeps saying can't play video. Let me see. Sorry to do this right in the middle, right in the beginning of the show, but let me just double check on the computer's end. Yeah, it does not appear to be playing. Well, son of a bitch. I think we might have to start this one over, brother.
Let's reset.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to here. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's playing. It's playing right there. So okay, good deal. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Sorry, guys. Had a little
Hey,
bit of problem. I had a little bit of problem last night doing Ghosted with some videos playing too. I decrapped the computer, so moving forward. So today, Donald Trump faces what is inevitably his first series of indictments. We don't know what all he is being indicted on yet. Those are still sealed, and they will be unsealed by a judge today as they're reading off the list of charges to Trump.
and I've seen that he's had a dig at the judge this morning. Yeah, I've seen actually on in Sky News that he'd had a dig at the judge who's obviously um yeah, dealing with the matter. And he surrendered to New York courts. Yeah, I mean, like we said previously, you know, this guy is many words to yeah, he's as we would say in the UK, a fucking fruitcake. This
With extra
it's a
nuts.
weird one, right, with this guy because he's got so much to say constantly, and he preaches that he's doing good. What has he actually done? You know, he's been bankrupt twice.
Well, now, hang on. Let's not get off on a Trump character assassination because we could probably both do that all day long. Let's just stick to the actual topic at hand of what is happening and how. I mean, like it's affecting our country on a global level. The fact that one of our presidents is facing the very first of his criminal indictments. It's not like it's going to stop. He's going to get a fine. They're going to put him on an ankle monitor, stick him back in Mar-a-Lago. He'll serve his sentence and then be fined the rest of his days. There are tons more coming down the pike. But what that shows the rest of the world is that we've had a president that we have decided we want to imprison now. And it's not based on political ideologies like, you know, the MAGA crew likes to scream, like Trump likes to scream. It's based on the fact that he committed crimes and he's finally being held accountable for those crimes.
The thing is, his whole presidency, his election was corrupt.
Yeah.
His whole election was corrupt. You know, and I think it's the first. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? I'm a young guy. You're a young guy, and there's been a lot. You know, he's the first president to actually have the right things done. You know, when I say prosecution, he's the first one of many that have, you know, that I say have committed crimes.
Sure.
But Junior, he was fucking guilty of shit. You know, Nixon, guilty of shit.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out because that seems to be something that Trump has been citing recently. Is that well Nixon, you know, he had files at his house and he did this and this and this. And but you know, Nixon saw Agnew get hauled off. So he knew what the fuck was coming his way. So that's what I always love to say about Ford. It's like he's the only man in history who has held both top offices, but wasn't actually elected to either one of them.
No.
That's funny. But he knew, I'm going to go grab Ford. I'm going to appoint him as the new vice. And then we're going to have a conversation that says, I'm quitting my job. You're going to take over. And as soon as you take over, you get to be president, but you ink that pardon. And then Nixon took to the skies and he sat in orbit waiting for 12:01 to hit till Ford took over and that transmission that the pardon has been signed before he landed.
You know, I just think Trump has been outspoken.
Yeah.
Very, very, very outspoken. Not even on issues that related to his presidency. If there was anything within the United States that he could get involved in, he was getting involved. There was never anything intelligent about that man. His voice, his voice got him prosecuted, or is going to get him prosecuted.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the guy hadn't even the sense to even clean up his own mess.
Well, one of the things about today that I'm anxious to see how it plays out is I feel like it's a certainty that the judge is going to issue a gag order on Trump, telling him that you cannot speak out publicly about the trial. You can't voice your opinions on what's happening. You can't talk about other people involved in this case or their families. Now, I don't think that Trump is going to have the self-control to not do any of that, especially since he has a press conference scheduled for tonight at Mar-a-Lago.
No way you're silenced. That man can't be silenced.
Well, he'll be silenced once he's in contempt of court for several charges. And they
you know what he'll do? He'll unless oh, Jeremy, free Papa Trump. No. You know, unless that man gets some sort of order which prevents him leaving the United States, I could honestly see that man finding a country that has a law where he can just fucking just
no extradition. Yeah. Well, no, I believe they're going to make him surrender passports and whatnot, but that doesn't really so much matter since he's got his own planes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know,
he's not opposed to breaking the law.
There's only one way that man gets silenced.
Let's not say that on the air.
No, but I'm just saying, you know,
you're right.
One way that man gets silenced. Donald Trump doesn't surrender to no one. The man's ego is huge. Huge.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and I don't believe, and I really honestly believe that he doesn't think he has done anything wrong.
No. I disagree. I believe he absolutely knows everything he's done. I believe his legal team is keeping him very strongly apprised of what is more than likely to happen to him moving forward. I believe all that stuff. But his persona of Donald Trump, basically, he looks at his supporters like a bunch of fucking marks. Like, oh, well, all I got to do is go on Truth Central and just tell them, oh, you're patriots and blah, blah, blah. And only people like you can help keep this country together. You can kiss your country goodbye and all kinds of just lunacy. But that's all a character. I believe Trump is very conscious of what he's done wrong. He knows what he's doing wrong as he's doing it. He just believes he's untouchable.
He's playing the gimmick.
He's totally working the gimmick, yeah.
You know,
but when stakes is on a global level, everybody is laughing at us. They are. They're like, oh, look what you guys did. Okay, what's up, unknown? It's like 134 GG. How you doing, Podna? Okay.
Ego as big as his bald spot.
Yeah, I'll say it couldn't be as big as his dick because then he'd have a little ego, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not proud of that. I'm taking that one back. That's not what I wanted to do here today. because I can go off screaming my personal opinions about Trump for the next 3 fucking weeks if we did a 3-week straight podcast.
When we spoke the other day, when we were discussing a few things, I think this guy's issue and his mission has always been about making the United States whole. I think his mission has always been to split the United States.
Well, he wants a dictatorship.
Yeah.
And he's like said it. He hasn't said I want this country to be, dictator status, or communist status, but he has fucking done everything to demonstrate that is what he wants.
The cult of Trump.
Yeah.
The cult of Trump. He used his position as the president of the United States to be able to use his voice and convert people. He knew that he was always gonna be removed from office. So what he tried to do was create himself an army. Even after the next president came in, he was already vocal in Barack Obama's reign.
Right.
This was a guy.
Show us the birth certificate. We need to see it.
He knew exactly all along. He knew how many years he was in office. He knew he had this amount of time to create enough noise, and he did. But it's all backfired on him, because everything that he thought was possible, no one's there anymore.
I believe that about January 6th, when they tried to, overthrow the country, I believe that they all went in there thinking we're following our president's orders, so there's not going to be any legal ramifications. And he promised us that if we did get in trouble, he would handle it. So 1,000 people who were involved in that rally have been arrested. Like 40% of them have been convicted.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them are waiting for convictions. Trump didn't step up and do dick one for a single person. So now what he's calling for his call to arms, be there. And, New York, we're ready. They're ready now, man. They're ready for some shit. And now nobody's coming. Nobody's out there with those signs holding protests, because they're like, dude, he let 1,000 burn. He didn't raise a finger to help us, which how could you have not expected that? You think that if your president says, it's time to overthrow the country, that makes it a legal, lawful order? What the fuck what's wrong with you people? Look, we are Americans, and no matter what, through our entire country's history, America sorts its shit out. And then Trump came in and undid a glorious history of working our shit out. And now the country is still split and fractured into so many different directions. I don't know how it's ever going to come back together again.
Man's dangerous.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. So that's the shit that we're dealing with. Like, now, has anything like this happened on your side of the pond?
I wouldn't say to that extent. Like you said, a lot of it you still don't know as Americans. It's watertight, and there will still obviously be stuff even after this trial that some stuff won't be allowed to come out.
Right.
And I think this is the fact that that we all ask these questions, and they should force him and Vince McMahon to be
for the next 20 years.
The next 20 years. No.
Vince ain't got 20 years left. Let's be honest.
No. Vince will be dead.
He looks like Gomez Adams right now.
Vince will be dead in 10. Um, if all, Vince is getting ready. That's why this sale has been made.
Yeah.
Vince has has aged badly in the last 10 years.
Well, I feel like maybe there are some health concerns he's keeping very hush hush.
Yeah, I do.
That little Gomez Adams mustache, like nobody in his life said, bro.
Dude, you know what made me chuckle? Because I looked at that mustache the other day and I put a picture up of dashing Cody Rhodes, and it just made me chuckle because it was a Cody mustache. But yeah, enough about that, because that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I mean, when you think, there's a lot of stuff that won't be allowed to come out. A lot of, I really honestly believe that.
A lot of stuff regarding Trump.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. If it's legal and binding, and if it's not violating any secrets for national security,
that's what
they are going to air all of his.
I just think, I've always said, right, who is the most powerful man in America?
Me. Or no?
I don't ever. You know what I mean? I think you're a silly, naive person if you think the president of the United States is the most powerful man. You know that there's someone else, clearly. For it to be allowed for people to vote for a person to take charge of a country that size, they will no one will allow, the stars and stripes to ever come and be threatened. Okay, so the wrong choice won't be allowed to happen.
But it did happen.
That's how I've always. It did happen, but it's like I've always said. We can't say it on air, but the amount of people I was saying, it'll happen, and it never happened, and I was so surprised because this man was dangerous.
Yes.
And we're sitting now watching another two countries in the world fighting. And I sit here and I think, you know what? What if that man was still in charge today? I really think the issue would be a hell of a lot different.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'd be talking about, Malevsky and the people of the Ukraine, because I really do think I always said that this was coming with Russia and Ukraine. I also stated that I honestly believed it was in Putin's plans to make history before he was either removed or he passed away. Okay. But I firmly believe if that man was still in charge of the United States, we'd have seen the next Cold War.
Yeah.
I do, because I just think it's the ego of that man, and the man is fucking dangerous.
What was that movie, that horror movie where Charlie Sheen's dad was the president, but he was a psychopath and ended up nuking everybody?
I don't know, but I need to know now.
Yeah. It was a good movie, and I remember I first finally watched it, to refresh myself when the election, Trump and Hillary and all that shit was happening. I watched that, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is an actual, genuine fear that he's just going to say, I'm going to do this because it's going to make me so much stronger.
And that's what surprised me. Not just Americans were sat there watching this guy create a mess.
The whole world.
it was a global mess he was creating because countries were turning against each other because of shit this man was doing. You know, he put a ban on fucking Muslims coming in and out of that country.
Right.
He allowed people to be locked in that country and not be able to get out.
And, even after 9/11, nobody took those kinds of extreme measures.
No.
Trump just decided, I don't want Muslims here anymore.
That's it. The man was globally, he was a global racist.
Yeah.
That the man, how did that man get in the office?
Well, let's do this. Take okay, so you know what's happening with Trump. Take anything that's even kind of comparable from your side. Let's talk about that for a minute. There's got to be something. No?
No. I mean, we've had people run for, prime minister that shouldn't have fucking ever. Jeremy Corbyn was one that ran for Labour and prime minister, and that man is publicly known to have been in bed with the IRA. He was under investigation himself. Yeah, when we had the London bombings, and there was a bombings in Warrington in England, and he was known then to have been in bed with the IRA and Gerry Adams.
So that directly relates to Trump and the Proud Boys.
There's a lot of there are mass connections. When we are at the minute, this country is on a state of emergency, with regard to the peace treaty between, regarding Northern Ireland and the IRA. The treaty is up shortly, so that they are now on a red warning. Security breach, that they're expecting some sort of terrorist, some sort of something to happen,
some kind of attack,
yeah, and the IRA people, the IRA are massive. They don't just come from Northern Ireland; they're global.
Yeah,
they're global. They're massive in the United States. Anyone that knows their geography and knows their history just knows, just the sheer power and the sheer, amount of Irish, the presence. Not just America, Ireland, Northern Ireland has a massive presence around the world, and it is a lot to do with guns and arms and anything like that.
They're huge in arms.
Yeah, and it's just, I would say, I mean, obviously we had an issue, we had a massive farce, big balls up happening COVID, where they were locking shit down, and while people were watching their loved ones die in hospitals and things like that, fucking prime minister was having a party in fucking Downing Street.
Yep, Trump did the same thing at the White House.
And this is the shit, man. It's what.
And so just real quick, speaking of COVID, because the Antisocial Network has viewers from all over the planet. So I just want to let everybody know, I want to kind of dispel something, that we don't, as a general public, blame Trump for COVID. We don't say it's his fault this happened. We blame Trump for his dismal, pathetic response to this global pandemic we've lost over 1 million people in this country that we didn't have to lose. Now, it's not like if Trump would have been more serious, there would have been no deaths. There would have still been deaths, but we blame him for the way he handled it. It's a hoax. In 2 weeks, it'll be gone. We're gonna have you drink some Drano and stick a light bulb up your ass, and that'll fix it. Ridiculous, ridiculous.
You know, that is very, very, I wouldn't say the same, but things in this country that America needs to also adopt it's called the NHS.
National Health Service.
America needs to adopt this because it's right.
I very much agree. I
You know,
totally
it's right.
agree with socialized
right.
medicine. That doesn't
Um,
make you a socialist having socialized
no,
medicine.
no.
Like we have Social Security. You know, that's not a socialist program. It's just in the fucking name.
It's right. The whole world should adopt the National Health Service. You know, we as people, we pay enough in to the economy of our own countries to be able to walk into a fucking hospital and ask for help because of a problem, not fucking charged for it.
And then they actually do help you.
Yeah. You know, not dictated to because of what level of insurance you have, and then have someone say, "Well, you're not really covered by this." No, come on, seriously. You know, and it was the same with the pandemic, with the fact that our country was standing outside our houses clapping. You know, that there was a big bit, and I got goosebumps thinking about it. You know, that there was a big united front in protect our NHS because it's not protected. There's not enough money put into the NHS.
Really?
There's not enough. Nowhere near enough.
I read something just the other day where they were, comparing what you have and if we were enacted over here. And they were saying, if everybody just put in $2 from their paychecks, everybody can have health insurance.
Yeah.
$2. Dude, if I can pay $2, $4 a month, $2 from each check, $4 a month, and I'm getting health insurance. But not only that, are all these people who are suffering and dying painfully, they can get help because I'm paying $4 a month. How is that not more than worth it?
Tell me. You tell me. Because I don't believe, I mean, we could go into conspiracy theories and all that shit. Well,
it's not even conspiracy. I think they pretty much outright said private insurance is the only way this country wants to go, or welfare.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is who comes up with the fucking price tag for the fucking operation?
Right.
Fucking we've got the same quality of doctor working in this country in the NHS, right? But these doctors are also performing the same operation privately, right? My dad, right, had to have a hip operation, right? He had a choice, NHS, private, okay? First of all, he went with the NHS, seen this doctor, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's going to take this long to do it. My dad's like, okay, well, I've got to work, So it got to the point my dad said, no, I'll have it done private. So he arranges to go and have his hip operation done private. He walks into this posh hospital. The door opens, same fucking doctor.
We'll do it today.
2 days later, he had it done.
Oh, shit.
2 days later, right? He didn't have to pay for it because the surgery was paid for by his employers. Okay? The way that operates is We pay for it. We monitor your recovery, and we know when you'll be back to work.
Right.
You know, it works for all parties. But he's not uncomfortable. He's not in any pain. He's looked after. You know, that doesn't necessarily, and this is the problem, is because you can pay, right, and this money gets fucking mentioned, and all these things get mentioned, it puts a negative look on a system that has worked fucking for years in the NHS, you know, and all these things. They don't tell you that the system is strangled and the system isn't getting enough money, you know. But you know, you've just said there $2, $2 for every person. You know, you imagine, right? Forget that $2, forget them $4. You imagine if every person paid $10, $20.
Right.
You know, that in itself would change
Everybody, everything.
lives, man, lives. But no, you know, no. Let's
You have these poor ladies out here, and they're single moms. They've got a couple of kids. They work their asses off, and they can barely sometimes qualify for welfare insurance. The kids get the welfare insurance, and the mom has to hang on. And if she gets sick, she just got to deal with it. So let's take your attitude. Let's say that we each threw in $10 a paycheck. Now, even those of you who are on minimum wage, is $20 a month not worth having health insurance? Like Chris Rock says, everybody's going to die. But if you have health insurance, at least you will die in a bed.
You know what? I listen to all these things, and you know, yourselves, and it probably affects my the election process, right? I imagine if the people of the United States really, really, really thought about it and wanted to change, and they wanted these things to be brought into power, you know, they fucking boycott elections. You know, because people work, so people should have a say in where their money goes. Don't tell me that there's not that it cannot be done, because it can be done.
It is being done. It's being done for you. It's being done in Canada. I don't know about Mexico's system. I don't know how they're working it out there, but I know Mexico has some pretty interesting systems going on that seem to be working for them.
The likes of Mexico have become quite global in people from around the world going there for treatments.
Yeah.
The influx of doctors that are going to the likes of Mexico, Australia, you know, it's massive. It's massive because, you know, it's just something I can't get in my head. I can't get it.
You know, we did so good throughout this show today, staying on topic, and now we've wandered off to Mexico. I think that maybe it should be a topic for another show.
But it is though, isn't it? I mean, it still regards one of them things. Barack Obama tried to bring the NHS to the United States. So one person makes a fucking fantastic choice, right? And then he's replaced by a fucking idiot. So all the work, right? This has been going on for years. Like you say, different presidents, blah, 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 blah. They action something that looks positive. And then it gets taken back by the next guy that comes in. There's never any positive progress.
Oh, you're right. It's always a backslide because it goes damned then Repub, then damned then Repub. And It's like, these presidents need to start getting their shit locked up so it's not able to be pulled back.
There
Like Roe
needs
v.
to
Wade
be.
should have been codified a long time ago.
There needs to be a big plan, a big objective.
A master that everybody, both sides, got to get involved in.
That's it. There needs to be one major objective as to what we are going to do as a country for the foreseeable future and how we're going to build it. Not the next president comes in like fucking Biden and he can't think for himself and he's fucking constantly reading like a WWE fucking promo because he's fucking senile. There needs to be a big picture. It's right. This is the country's plan for the next 20 years. We're going to establish a national health service where everyone, because by doing that, people's lives become, there's a security, a stability in the system, which allows people to fucking not wake up on a daily basis and fucking be worried about what's going to happen next week.
The political structure in general needs to be changed for both the right and the left. Like, I believe we really need to have an age cap before you need to shuffle on to whatever you're going to do next.
Yeah.
I believe that you need to pass some kind of mental health evaluations, because you get these, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is literally screaming at people during Senate meetings about her posts from Twitter being pulled down. And you got this Boebert fucking idiot broad who is trying to chastise somebody about, well, you voted to decriminalize public urination. No, I did not. Well, did you vote to decriminalize it? No, I did not. Well, do you plan on trying to decriminalize later? No, I don't. Okay, I yield. That broad, Green, Trump, these just completely unhinged from reality people are destroying the party that used to legitimately be. I mean, back in the day, the Republicans were actually about small government, party of the people, the party of law and order. That used to be who they really are. And they have fallen so fucking far from grace. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying the Democrats are really any better, but they're not putting their shit on Front Street on a daily, hourly fucking basis like the Republicans here are. Until we can repair that fractured party, getting younger people in who's not like that Soros douchebag who lied about everything, and like their big fighting points now are drag queens, are books, are art. And it's like, let me tell you something. An art-loving, book-reading drag queen poses no fucking threat to this country.
Do you know what the problem is?
Shoot.
The people. The people know.
The people are polarized by their representatives. If their representatives chill the fuck out, so would the people.
This is it. You see, the people see what's going on.
I hope so.
The people see what's going on 24/7, right? And these people, they opt and they vote for a person who will say one thing in that thing, and then once they've had the vote, they'll do the complete opposite, because they don't get to decide how these things happen. The people need to run the fucking country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the people are.
Yeah, okay, you would probably have civil fucking war. Yeah, you probably would have civil war. But listen, the only thing stopping fucking civil war is people themselves.
Truth.
Right? And this shows you just how people sit there, but it shows you just how unified, without being unified, the country is. Because if it could, have a civil war, then it fucking won. And if they continue to listen to fucking people like fucking Donald Trump, it will happen. You won't have to worry about fucking a guy from another country
Right.
or being afraid of a culture that you don't need to be afraid of. You know, these things are planted.
To
It's
be
planted.
such a more open-minded country. I mean, not for a long time, but it used to be.
Mhm.
Come on, guys.
Dude, I've
Let's,
been there.
you know,
I've been
let's
there.
just
I've lived there for I lived there for fucking 4 months. I loved it. I lived there for 4 months. I loved living in New York. I loved it. It would easily be somewhere that I would, if if I didn't have my kids, my family, it would easily be a country that I would emigrate to. But not how it is,
right.
because there's no sense in how it's kind of changed. It's weird because I've got family that live in New York, and even they say, I mean, my cousin who I stayed with, and I lived right in the Bronx,
Oh
right?
shit.
Yeah, I fucking loved it. Absolutely loved it. We were slap in the middle of the Bronx, Manhattan, and we would walk door to the left. You go down a couple of blocks and you walk into Harlem. You know, you had Little Italy. Listen, I never once heard a gunshot.
No.
I never once seen a person fucking get stabbed or anything like that. All I ever seen was people smiling, and it's just, and you pick up a fucking newspaper and it's like, oh, gunshots, blah 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 blah. Fuck it. They tell you what you want to. They tell you what they think you want to know.
Right. Well, the news is led by fear mongering, and that's really just that. But let me ask you this: so, living in the Bronx, did you ever have an experience where somebody yelled out the window, "Fuck you," and you said, "Yes, yes, fuck you too"? Look, we got to wrap this up, man. We're going over time. So, any final thoughts today?
I ain't going to say justice for Trump. I'm going to say give the man what he deserves.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. So is the majority of the country, because we have got to show people in politics moving forward, you are not above our law. You are not. And you will eventually be hemmed up. So I think it was a pretty good show. We've been broadcasting. So next week, we'll come back in on this and kind of go over what the progress has been so far. And I'm sure we're going to fall off topic, probably talk about wrestling again.
Probably.
All right, guys.
Might even go on all day back to Mexico.
Ooh. All right, so that's been What's the Difference right here on the Anti-Social Network. I'm the Wild Thing, Rob Wiles, joined, of course, by The Butcher. And we're going to see you guys next week. Deuces.